Okay, so something that really caught my attention is this whole concept of the agonist spectrum. It's like a light dimmer switch for your brain. I used to think that medication was just on and off, but seeing that restart analogy completely changed my perspective. It's like imagine if instead of just having a light switch, you had this sophisticated dimmer that could give you exactly the right amount of brightness that you need. That's what partial agonists do. They don't just blast your brain with full effects like a floodlight, they give you this perfectly calibrated therapeutic effect. It makes so much sense why some medication works better for certain people because we're all working with different lighting needs in our brain. Okay, so one thing that I found interesting and has deepened my understanding about the medication's effect on the brain and also the behavior is that seeing how specific these medications are. Like with acetylcholine, it's involved in motor control, the autonomic nervous system, and also neuromodulation. So when you give someone donepezil or rivastigmine, you're targeting those specific symptoms. Same with dopamine, it handles reward, motivation, movement, mood, and sleep. All those antipsychotics and stimulants on the list are working on the dopamine system, which directly affect how people think, feel, and behave. It's pretty precise because we're not just throwing medication at symptoms, we're targeting specific brain chemistry. Okay, so one thing that I could talk about the ethical consideration is that the prescribing principle really made me think about our responsibility as a psychological practitioner. Using the lowest possible dose, avoiding polypharmacies, and requiring close monitoring, all of these aren't just clinical guidelines, they're ethical commitments. The monitoring parts especially stood out because when we prescribe these medications, we're asking people to trust us with their physical health too, not just their mental health. That raises questions about informed consent and whether everyone has equal access to proper monitoring. There's also the temptation to add more medication when things are not working perfectly. But we, as a psychological practitioner, need to weigh the benefits against the risks of drug interactions. Okay, so one thing that I could share about the impact of this session on my perspective is that this definitely changed how I see medication's role in mental health. I used to have a pretty simplistic view, but now I understand it's much more complex and targeted than I thought. It's got me curious about personalized medicine. Like, if we can target specific neurotransmitter system this precisely, what's the potential for individualized treatment based on genetics or other factors? And practically, it's made me think about how to help clients understand the mechanism and how to stay current with developments in the field. Like the session reinforced that effective treatment often involves understanding both the psychological and biological aspects of our mental health.